Hello, so this is a TypeScript tutorial. So basically, TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. So it's basically JavaScript with the ability to set type. So without further ado, I'll just go straight to content. So basically, so for TypeScript, right? So this is how we declare variable. So it's the so basically in TypeScript every in JavaScript, right, for variables, right, if you have a variable, you first assign it to a string. Then afterwards, you can like assign it to a number or so. For example, you could like so let's say you have this let string equals to something, right? Then if you want to decide to make let string be a number instead, something like that. In JavaScript, that will be allowed, but in TypeScript, right, is every variable has a fixed type. So for example, when I first assign string str, I assign it as a string. So str as you hover over it, it has a type called string. So that means if I try to assign anything that's not a string to str, it will give me an error. So that's the basically the gist of typing and and TypeScript in general. So but if I assign some other string, right, it is allowed. So that's the gist of TypeScript. So and there are some types available. So you have let okay. So maybe like let you can there's a number, there's string, and if you want to have an array, right? So like for example, num array equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So you just put a bracket after the whatever data type. So this is how you declare types. So okay, you might notice that if over here I never put this type thing over here, right? That's because right I assign a string to it. So what TypeScript will assume that str will be of a type string. So unless if I have another like if I wanted to specify it to be something else, right? Then I can just put it here lah. But provided that this string, right, does satisfy the whatever type that I declared here. So I can also do this, which works because this is a string. So next we have something called type aliases. So it's basically something is similar to interfaces in Java if I'm not wrong. So basically is I'll show how it works. So number array. So basically is I'm declaring a custom type. So I name a type called number array, and number array is called I define it as a array of numbers. So next time I can just constant number array, just use this to define basically types. So normally, well, when do we use this? We normally use this with objects. So normally when we have a template, so for example, we have a student object type that we want it to contain a string called name, number called year, and array of students called friends. So what we do is we declare type and student. So it serves as a template. So if I declare a object board, then I specify it to be of type student, then it must fit this. So that means if I change anything, right, then TypeScript will just highlight. So that's the advantage of using TypeScript over JavaScript is that if you let's say you make a spelling mistake or something or there, right, or you assign the wrong data type in code, right, TypeScript will like automatically highlight to you. So that's the advantage of TypeScript. Then we have something called the union type. So union type basically means or lah. So you have this pipe symbol. So as you remember, like double pipe means logical or. So in TypeScript, this means like type or lah. So string or number, right? So it basically means string or number. So this variable string or number can either be a number or a string. So quite straightforward. Then in functions, then uh function. So basically when you declare functions, right, you have variables, right? So in TypeScript, right, they will actually enforce you to actually give a type to the parameters of the functions. So like if you try to do this, then you highlight that it has a any type. So it's like any means it can be anything lah. So but you don't want it to one TypeScript doesn't like it, so you have to fix the type for it. Then lastly, okay, I'm going to teach something that's not specific to TypeScript, but yeah, I somehow have it in my lesson plan. So at this point of the lesson, so I'll just say it now. So basically, there are two functions called map and reduce. So map and reduce are basically a method. So that is conducted on an array basically. So for example, let's say you have numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you want to add one to each number, right? You can do it with a traditional for loop. So like we iterate through the numbers and add one, we increment each one. Or what we can do instead is we use the map method. So map method is basically um the array. So we have this array. Then this array, what we do is we call a dot map. Then dot map, within dot map, right, we pass in a function in dot map. So this function, like you will take in one parameter when there's one parameter in the when there's one parameter, right? This parameter will be the value itself. Then it will return how we want to change it. So for example, if you want to add 3 to each element, so we take num and we add a num plus 3. So when it maps through each element, right, it will pass through this function and it will produce a function with plus 3 added to each element. Then when you console log in, you make sure I don't print anything else. Run. You realize that all the numbers is all plus 3 already. Then when there is a two when there are two arguments, like two parameters in the function within map, you the first one will be the index of the element, and the second one will be the element itself. So index. So in this function, right, what we want to do is we want to add the index number to each number. So for example, in index 0, we want to add 0 to here, add 1 to here, 2, 3, 4. So when we run it, we'll realize we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is what we intended. And then for reduce, then for reduce, so reduce works differently. So what reduce does is you will take in two values, so value 1 and value 2. And basically what it does is it reduces all the elements in the array into one element. So how we can see is that it will how the algorithm works is that you will first take the first and second value. Then after that, what it will do is pass through this function and you will return a new value. Then this new value, you'll grab the next value and return it. So for this, in this case, right, it's basically a function that sums up all the numbers in the array. So if we run it, you'll get like 15 because which is the sum of all the numbers in the array. So yeah. Then finally, there are some other syntax that is available in TypeScript. So for example, is called enum. So for this, I won't explain for now, if you are interested, you can look out for it. But it's also something that we also use in RHDev. And with all this, I'll end the video now.